Hello and welcome to Crypto News Australia with me, Bianca McIntyre. Today we've got Alex Blanco, the brand ambassador for bitcoindealers.com.au. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Bianca.
So please give us a short summary about what bitcoindealers.com.au is and what is your role in that?
So Bitcoin Dealers is a family business. We have been in the actual gold industry for a long time, and when Bitcoin and all the cryptos started like grabbing a lot of momentum a few years back, we decided there's a gap in the market and there's a lot of opportunity. So we started the first face-to-face, like a real face-to-face operation in Australia with 3 offices. We have an office in Melbourne, Sydney, and Adelaide, where you can literally walk into an actual place and meet an actual human and have any questions answered. For example, how to set up a wallet, how Bitcoin works, what is Bitcoin, how to send and receive Bitcoin, blockchain. And obviously, they can buy and sell from us, right? At the time, the only way to buy Bitcoin were a bit complicated, and you had to spend a bit of time in online just researching how everything worked. So once we did our first setup, then it was easier for everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. So do you also, I read that you also do money lending against Bitcoin, is that correct?
Yes. So we actually come from a lending background. We've had many lending businesses in the past. We still have them. And when we first started buying and selling Bitcoin a few years back, there was quite a bit of people that bought either too cheap or bought too expensive. And we had a lot of those clients coming back to us and saying, can you guys give us a loan using my Bitcoin or crypto? And we're like, well, why not? Yeah, why not? So what happened was we set up our a lending business, focusing just on people that have Bitcoin and crypto. And we started that at the start of this year. The reason it started at the start of this year is because Bitcoin went up like crazy. Then when it went down that much, a lot of people we sold Bitcoin to was at 20-something thousand, for example, right? Yeah. Now, Bitcoin at the time was only worth 13,000. So they didn't want to sell, but they needed money because maybe they were buying a house or buying a car, holidays, any reason, right? So we decided that this is time to do it, and it became very busy. So one other thing is that we found there was like three or four main reasons why people were asking for these loans. Yeah. The first one obviously was the one that they bought too high, price drop, they don't want to sell because then they're going to realize a massive loss. Yeah. A second one was a lot of my friends, they bought Bitcoin when Bitcoin was only $30, $150, a few of them. Yeah. And if they sell, then the government was more looking into Bitcoin at the time. So if they sell their Bitcoin, all of a sudden they have to pay these huge capital gain taxes. So what they do is every time they need money, they just call us and they get a loan, so they don't have to pay tax on that loan. Yeah. That's another one. And the third one is that, say, for example, you bought Bitcoin. That one is irrelevant, any price, and you just want to buy more Bitcoin. Yeah. So one Bitcoin is worth 10,000, for example. You can borrow 6,000, and then you can buy an extra 0.6 of a Bitcoin. Yeah. So you now have 1.6 Bitcoin.
Oh, all right. So what are the fees involved with doing these buying and loaning against Bitcoin?
The way the fees work is like everything. The more you get, the cheaper it becomes. So the fees start the cheapest fee is 1.5% a month, and the most expensive is 3% a month. But that's for the very small loans. And the fees are actually only charged monthly. So it's what is called an interest-only loan. So you only have to pay the interest at the end of every month.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Is there a minimum or a maximum that you can loan against?
There is. The minimum is $1,000, which we actually haven't done many of them, thank God, because they're too small. Yeah. And the maximum is 800,000.
800,000.
Yeah. But so anywhere in between is fine.
Wow. Okay. So can you give me almost like a real-world example? If I had, one Bitcoin, what do I do? How can I borrow money for that?
Yeah, so if you have one Bitcoin, for example, let's just argument's sake, say one Bitcoin is worth 10,000. If Bitcoin is worth 10,000, we lend you up to 60%. So we give you up to $6,000 on that Bitcoin. Now, we also lend against other major cryptos like Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, all those other ones. Some of those we lend also up to 60%, some of them only up to 50%. Just depends on how volatile they've been And we also lend on, like, say, for example, Dash, EOS, and some of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
But those we just check the market, and we might only give you 50% or 40%. Just depends on what the market is doing.
Okay, and what happens, say, if the market was to crash, if Bitcoin was to completely crash?
Well, let's hope it doesn't. But no, okay. So if the price of Bitcoin, for example, let's go back to the $10,000 scenario, right? If we gave you $6,000, right, and the price of Bitcoin starts dropping and dropping, there two things will happen. One is you get a margin call. Now, the way we calculate a margin call is at the start, we lend you 60% LVR. LVR means loan-to-value ratio. If the LVR drops all the way to 85%, then we give you a margin call. If you want to calculate yourself a margin call, calculate how much it is, all you have to do is the amount we lent you, which is $6,000, you divide it by 0.85, which is the 85%, and that gives you how much it is, which is $7,058. If Bitcoin was to drop to $7,058, then we give you a margin call by phone, email, and text message, right? And you'll basically be saying, Bianca, your loan is hit a margin call. Can you please top up your loan? And you can top it up either with Bitcoin, any crypto, or with money. Okay. Now, what happens if it keeps on going down?
Crashing.
It keeps on crashing. What happens then is it could become a liquidation. The way it becomes a liquidation is if it hits 95% of the LVR. So again, just take $6,000 divided by 0.95, and that's going to become like 6,300 and something. Yeah. So if Bitcoin was to drop to 6,315, I think it is, then what we do is your coins get sold in either Bitstamp or Kraken, like one of the major exchanges. If that was to happen, we record the sale because it's all in the Bitstamp account, for example. Then whatever money is left over, we then calculate how much the 6,000 you owe us plus the interest, and the leftover money we just send it back to you. Yeah, but luckily, and touch wood, we haven't hasn't happened yet of liquidations. Yeah. We have had quite a bit of margin calls, but it's no big deal because anyone that is in crypto or Bitcoin, they're very savvy. They're always checking the price, and it's not like they don't know the price. So usually they call us before we call them to say, can I top up? Another way of doing it too is some people actually leave extra collateral. So instead of taking 60%, we have quite a bit of, especially the bigger loans, they're in around 40 to 50% collateral, and it's actually Bitcoin. So it's very hard for them to get even a margin call.
Awesome. Well, that's a lot of information to take in. So for our viewers out there that want to know more or want to get hold of you, where can they find out more information?
The easiest way to start is by going to our website, bitcoindealers.com.au, or you can call us 1-800-628-831. That's 1-800-628-831. Alternatively, too, of course, we have 3 offices, one in Melbourne, one in Sydney, and one in Adelaide. So you can walk in, there'll be someone friendly there to look after you, and any questions.
Well, thank you so much for that. I will definitely go and check that one out. And thank you so much for having this chat with us.
No, thanks to Crypto News for having us. Yeah.
And thank you to you guys for watching us here for Crypto News Australia, your #1 source for all things crypto and blockchain.